to another video for the Alpha Strikes We Play. And today we're going to be taking a look at a new card game called Rain. So this was designed by Garage Games Australia and it's available now. So Tarron, things are not looking too good in the kingdom of Kazath.
No, they are not.
No.
The king is dead.
No.
Long live the new king.
That's right. Who is it? Could be you, could be me.
No, it's never me.
Could be the others who we actually got along to actually have a play, and
Yes.
we want to show you all about it, but we'll tell you a little bit about the game first. Rain is a game for 2 to 7 players for ages 12 and above, and average game takes about 30 to 45 minutes.
So you're looking at a trading card game, deck building more basically. It gets more involved the more players there are to play with. It's actually pretty quick. Once you learn the rules, it's a fairly quick game to play, and it is a really, really easy one to learn. There's a few, what would you call them, tactical sort of strategic things that you need to wrap your head around, but the basic mechanics are very, very simple. It's an easy game to learn.
From a strategy point of view, I mean, the game does sort of center around a bit of negotiation while you play as well.
Yep.
I wouldn't say backstabbing, but there is probably a little bit of that can go on.
A certain amount.
A certain amount, yep. So for those people who like competitive card games, this is actually a very good choice.
It's very good.
Yes.
Yep. So it's by Garage Games, and they are actually an Australian company, and it's been designed by Tarron Wereman.
I hope we got that name.
Yeah, I hope I did that right. But yeah, it's an Australian game, and it is it's a good one.
Yeah.
It is a really good one.
Yeah.
Simple to pick up, easy to learn, easy to play.
So we're going to show you basically a round of how the game works, give you an idea of the mechanics and some of the strategy, and we'll talk a bit more in depth as to what we liked about it once we finish, give you an idea of sort of if it's for you. So to give you an idea of how the game plays, it's split into 4 phases. The first is the influence phase. In this phase, players basically bid to try and get access to a house. Without the support of a house, they're unable to try and go for the crown.
Which is the ultimate goal.
That's right.
So you're bidding with a military card. The military cards are given out, you get 4 at the beginning. It's 4?
4 cards, yep.
4 at the beginning, and you will be bidding with those to gain a house. You get the house that is the same colour. So there's 5 different colours of military cards. You're bidding with a military card of a certain value of that colour. And that's the house you want to try and get. If somebody else bids with a higher number, they get it and you lose it.
Yep.
It's a fairly simple setting.
Yep. Depending on how many players you have in the game, you may not have access to all the houses. The houses are actually drawn randomly at the beginning. At 7 players, all 5 are out. So big games like that are quite good. But with 7 players, yes, not everyone's going to be able to get a house, but that's okay because you can still support someone, which we'll talk about a bit later, which will still give you the points to earn towards your victory.
So second phase is the plotting phase.
Yes.
So you have 2 parts to the plotting phase. You have an overt backing phase, where you're allowed to play up to 1 card into the army of a house. So it can be your house or it can be somebody else's house. Only someone with a house can build an army, and only someone with a house can win a round.
Yep.
So you're putting up to 1 card face up, so people can see what you're doing. This is the overt section of the phase. So
the colour of the house, if it matches the military card that you're playing, it actually increases their strength. So it's good to have them. But any colour card will fight for you.
Then you're moving on to the covert backing section of the plotting phase.
Yep. So basically everyone's actually, once they've all done an overt, because you don't have to play a card.
Yeah, you don't have to play one.
But if you, part of the strategy is, so if you can see that someone's getting lots of cards, their army might actually be quite big. If you don't think you can match that, then you can start supporting that player. So if they win, because multiple players may still have equal size armies, you're not sure how it's going to go. If that player wins, you can still win points. With the covert, you're putting up to 2 or 3 cards face down.
You don't have to play cards in either of those two sections, but during the plotting phase you have to play at least one card, and that is the person you're backing to win.
Yeah. So if the cards that you have in your hand are not that strong and you don't think you can win, that's okay. One of the strategies, you can just support someone else and just see how you go. It's good. It works.
It works.
Yeah, it works. It's a valid strategy. There's quite a few.
It's viable.
Yeah.
It's won before.
Yeah.
So then we go on to combat. So in the combat phase, you take all of the face down cards that people have given you and you shuffle them. You're not allowed to know who they came from.
No.
Okay. So you shuffle them all up and then you reveal them out, and you will do the abilities that are on the card. So certain cards have certain abilities. So the military cards, the forces, their abilities go off first. Then you do all of the event cards that don't have the betrayal symbol on them, and then you do event cards that do have the betrayal symbol on them. So what you're able to do is use the betrayal event cards to make somebody's army worse. They're all negative, so they do something bad to the army that they turn up in. With the non-betrayal ones, they're almost always good, and you can put them in somebody else's army, or you can put them in your own. That's not a big deal, but they get done in that order. And then you add up the force points that are on the bottom of the card for whatever parts of your army you have left, and at the end of that, when everybody's added up, the person with the highest number wins the round.
That's right. They will become the regent for the following round. As regent, at the end, you will be getting legitimacy points. You get 3 points, and anyone who successfully backed the winning player will get 2. So even if you don't have a house or an army of your own, if you back someone who's winning, you get to score points, which is really good. At that point, the player then draws, what are they called?
Spoils.
Spoils,
Yep.
that's right, yeah. So you get 1 card from the military draw deck for each player that's in the game. Now, here's the thing. If you've backed a winning player, you will then get 1 card from the winner. But if someone, and you won't know who it is, if they've put a betrayal card in there, you don't have to do that. So you can keep all the cards if you want. Some people still like to hand them out, but yeah, under the rules, you don't have to. It is a viable strategy. So people it's good, you get all your cards, you can then pick and choose which ones you like. The ones you give out to the people who backed you, it's completely up to you.
After the spoils are distributed, you get to draw. So starting with the Regent again, and Regent is the first player, you draw either 3 military cards or 2 military cards and 1 event card. And then once you've done that, you have to discard down to your hand limit, which is 8. There are some cards in there that give you the ability to not do that, but basically you have to discard down to 8 cards, and then a new round starts with the Regent.
Yep. So it's good to be the Regent simply because you get to decide any ties that happen during a round. You'll also get to play more cards when you're building your army. And, well, you can't win the game without actually having the Regent crown.
Yeah, it's 9 points and the Regent, the Onyx crown, in your hand.
Yeah.
And you win. You remove any pen cards in this army and in your hand. You replace each card removed this way with the top card of the military draw pile. Okay, do you want to take any out of your hand?
I don't have it in my hand.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Oh, shit! So she just turned 1 point into 7 points.
Does this ability count if she's not blue?
Yes.
Yes, because
Yep,
I don't have any
that
other
counts for that unit.
cavalry. I just don't get the extra 2. So I've got 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 20.
That's bad.
Oh.
That's bad. Alright, so you do your splitters, then your non, then your betrayal.
So reveal your hand,
Peasants,
reveal
militia,
peasants, militia, and archers.
there aren't any. Nope, you haven't got any anyway. Okay, fair enough. Now it's your go. So you start with military abilities. So you've got 2 skirmishes there.
5, 5, 4, and +6.
How much do you have?
What's your score?
20.
Stupid knight.
Was it 20?
Yeah, 20.
And what's your score?
20.
That's because she's Regent.
I
Yes.
get to choose the tiebreaker, so
If you want to win, you have to have 20
I
points.
I don't think I'm going to.
Take that. You take that.
But
No,
it's too late now.
No.
I've already done the event. So.
Yeah, but
He can still use it.
Do you have any peasants?
They do.
Got a militia there, but it's only peasants.
yeah, only peasants.
Oh,
Helpless.
So good.
And there's no point in me swapping that to her because.
she's already had her turn, so it won't do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Oh.
So what have you got? 5, 9, 10, 11.
Yeah.
I wonder who's going to win this tiebreaker.
Now,
I think
it's 20 to 20. Your region, you have to decide who wins.
It's a tough call.
Gee,
It's hard, I know,
Really tempting.
but who
to-
wins?
to say
We'll give you
Adam.
10 seconds to think about
To say
it.
Adam. There we go.
Oh, wow, that was quick.
What's that?
Damn it.
Oh.
Off with his head.
So, because there's 9 points or more and the Onyx Crown,
You win.
Tammy is the queen.
Queen Corbin. We'll start with you, Cam, because you normally.
Was there
you normally
anything
get
positive
targeted,
that
so you've probably got some negatives, but that's okay. They're probably good.
try and find one positive thing you liked about playing it?
It's very simple to learn.
There you go.
Very easy.
Yeah.
Less than 7 minutes for you to explain and pick it up.
And it is. It's a really easy one to learn how to do. So, there's a few nuances and things that you have to work through as you do your turns,
Yeah.
but it's an easy one to pick up the basic rules. Yeah, so there we go. Positive from the non-board game player. Now you can just hit us with like a spewing of negatives if you feel like it.
No, I mean, yeah, I don't like board games in general because I like to be in control of my strategic victories. But it was easy to learn. It was very quick, very good, very fast paced, which is always nice. And the fact that we could pick it up and play it in 2 rounds and you essentially know what you're doing without understanding the full strategy was brilliant. It means you could buy that box set and be playing all your afternoon with your mates, and then it's just all out from there. So that was good. That's one of the things I don't like about board games is it can take 5 or 6 hours to master. I think we had this down pat in about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And then by the second game, we were already, I
The
actually know what I should have been doing right.
I like the event side of things. There's an event deck that you use in there, and a couple of the events came up multiple times.
Yeah, but there were a couple of
that was
billies
okay.
in there.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
they really did make a difference when you had all our arms lined up and you think you've got it in the bag, and then that event card gets played, it gets moved around or whatever. Oh, that's the randomness that they create. I really like that aspect to it. It's very cool. So
There aren't many games that aren't card games that cater that many players. You've got a lot of games that are like 4 players, and that's basically all you've got. When you've got one, if you've got a big group and you've got a simple, easy game that you can play fairly quickly, and you can have 7, 8, 9 players in it, it's a good one to take along.
yeah.
I like it. It's a good game for basically all of those reasons. I don't know. I think it's kind of the only real negative I have is the fact that it is, once you start to lose, it is difficult to come back, and I think that's probably why you don't like board games much, is because once you start to lose, you've got that hard slog to get back to where you were, sort of thing. But that's just part of the games, and because it's such a quick one, it's like you can just go, I'm not going to win. I'll help him win, and then I'll try and win the next round. So it's a good one. I like it.
I think there's referred as Kingmaker, the Kingmaker side of it, yeah.
Mm.
But that will also change depending on how many players you've got as well. The less players, the less likely that's sort of be an issue, but yeah.
Yeah, easy to learn and it's fun. I find it's a very fun game to play because you get to be not very nice to people.
She's trying not to say that she's happy because she won. Just being very polite. You could put some extra houses in there, like as an expansion pack. You could put in
They
some
could do up
different
to like
mechanics.
a 9-player expansion, say. I don't know
Yeah.
how they would do it, but
Have a way to get more players.
Yeah.
A bigger deck would be nice. Like I'd like to see another set of military cards come in. There's a lot of repetition in it. I understand it's designed to be compact, but if you're going to expand it and think about more players, then another set of cards that isn't a knight militia. I really like the military cards that had an ability, for example.
Yeah.
I'd love to see more of those.
So you could do
houses. So there's more hoopy stuff happening in the combat. It's not just, oh yeah, he's got 5 plus a bear plus this 21. Okay, you win. You know what I mean? I really liked that mechanic of the game. That was in fact my favourite mechanic of the game. Was the elf and the fire bowman and the that little guy that you keep calling the bear knight and just massive portion. That was awesome. That interaction plus the events is what made the combat round so interesting to me. So if you were going to expand it, that's all I do. I would just get some more going on, get some more houses, and get some more of those actual cards in the houses that you've already got.
I always like the idea of a dedicated sort of neoprene map, a themed play map. So I mean, you don't need a lot, but it's just nice to have something like that. You could have the different house symbols and things like that. That would be.
And a crown.
And an actual plastic crown.
In victory lap of moment.
Now we're getting silly.
Monopoly destroys relationships.
I was going to say
you got strengthening them.
You got this will get people divorced. You were nearly walking home.
Anything that's competitive can do that. Yeah. So
you just got to be able to say it's a game. It's done.
Yeah.
We can backstab each other to hell and back in the game, but after that, it's finished.
It's because it's such an important part of the game. That's the thing. You know what I mean? Like Monopoly, you can backstab or not backstab. You can play it normally. It's no problem. It's not going to destroy everything. But it is a very big part of this game.
This
tearing
is
someone down when
I think,
they're about to win.
because it's an actual strategy.
You can't get upset about it, can you?
Well, you can, but after the game is finished, then
you
kind
drop
of
it.
just say,
It's gone.
okay, it's over.
Right.
I lost.
Yes.
Or
You
you
got to carry it to the next one and keep telling people they're being mean.
But you guys were being mean to me.
Oh.
Do we look like mean
It's
people?
because you didn't want me to win again. That's
Yeah,
why.
pretty much.
Daddy needs legitimacy points.
Oh! Well, that's the thing, is it'll come down to a point where everyone is one round of winning away from winning the game, and you have to pick the people that aren't in that position unless it's you. So you're trying to narrow down who you want to go negotiate with and who you want to back to the people that aren't going to win the whole game if you do it. So
That's the other thing too, like if your group of people that you play with or whatever are quite happy to just say, okay, this person looks like they're really, really going to win, we'll just play it through and then we'll start another game. That's fine. But then there's also groups that like to play it right through to the end. They like the competition, they want to see how close they can get it to the wire and do it like that too. And you can. It does that. It's
never give up, never surrender.
Oh,
Put card down, hope win.
I think
strategy.
If you had a lot of cards for that particular colour, so you weren't really losing a lot of your cards just on bidding.
Yeah, true. Yeah, looking at what colours you've got in your hand would decide what sort of house you'd go for, or if you even bother to go for a house in the first place.
Or even event cards, because there was one event card that I had which I never played, but it said, I think it was like, oh, you can make all the cards in your army that particular colour of your house.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that one. That's a good one.
So there you go, another strategy, like how many cards you put down. Could be just 2 peasants, because everyone thinks, oh, he's got the big card. And the order that you place them to, I noticed that actually affects what people bid as well.
The order of the round.
Yeah, that's right. So if you're sort of at the back end of the...
you can see what everybody else has done, and you can go, well, I've got no chance here, and just not bother to waste a card on it. Well,
whoa!
if you're reasonable with people, then yes.
It's good. It doesn't always work in theory, because people don't have to hold up to their end of the negotiations.
No, that's right, yeah. And it does say
they
that
can just say, oh, you know what, well, no, I'm not going to give you cards because...
It's a Monday, I don't want to.
Yeah.
I mean, there are certain things, so if someone does back you and you don't have a betrayal card, then anyone who backs you have to give them at least one card. But otherwise, whatever you negotiate, But I guess it comes down to the group.
If you keep saying that you'll do something and then you don't, nobody's going to back you anymore. So you know, it's a thing.
The poor regent, so it gets all this power, it gets all these cards, but then people start bidding for houses and trying to get support,
Yeah.
You're going to start changing hands, and then you start losing your cards. So you might have some really good cards that you've drawn from winning being the region, but then you start losing them because everyone's swapping houses and such. So
it's like I keep saying to you guys is I try and imagine it how it is in a real world situation. So this is all political maneuvering and stuff, and you're disrupting the whole situation by having houses moving around, and that's causing problems for the region, so he loses his cards. But the actual rule, if you want it, yes, is instability. Every time any player gains a new house card, it causes instability in Kazath. The regent must discard one card each time this occurs. And the region is not excluded from this, and also causes instability whenever they gain a new house card. And there are a couple of event cards in there that cause house cards to move or be taken away or whatever, but they'll say on there specifically that they do or do not cause instability. The regent may place up to 3 cards instead of 2, face down during the covert backing step. The regent must place their last card into their own army. They cannot back other players. So that means that whenever you're doing a round of combat, the only person you're allowed to say, I think they're going to win, is yourself. You can't start hedging your bets and trying to get 2 points at a time or whatever. So that is, yeah.
That makes sense now. I
Yeah.
didn't think of it like that. It's like, why would the region back anyone else? For the 2 points.
For the 2 points.
Anyway.
yeah.
And because they're currently region, if they
Yeah.
lose.
You've got a buck ton of cards and you're like, I'll let you have a win.
I
Why
like
not?
it. I like it. Also probably stops matism. You know, that
Yeah.
thing, I'll hook you up, you hook me up, bro.
Yeah.
And then you just like bang, bang, back and forth. It'd be quite boring. Yeah.
But isn't that how it's done back then, Cam? How it's done now.
That's how it's done.
They put that crown on, they go, look, I really like this. I want to keep it.
I think I'll marry a horse. It was,
Lady nerd.
but like you said, it's a pretty balanced game, so
Yeah.
they've thought of this stuff.
Yeah.
It's
Okay, so there we are. Let's look at Rain. Hopefully you'll enjoy it as much as we do. I actually think it's a really
it's
good
great.
game.
I didn't win, but it was good.
It's okay. So yes, thank you for watching, and please subscribe, and we're going to be doing some more videos. We have some on the channel. Check them all out, and yeah, thank you very much. We'll see you soon.